So the issue was there was a woman. She was on a flight, and there was these napkins. The napkins were sponsored by Coca-Cola. So on the back of the napkin, it said, "Hey, if you see your in-flight crush, how about you do the bold thing and leave your name and your number and slide it to them as you leave," or something like that, right? And this lady like went the fuck off, and she was like, "Hey, Coca-Cola, maybe I don't want to give my number out on this flight. It's creepy and weird. Why would I want to give my number to a random stranger?" And then like there was shitloads of like comments and retweets of like yeah and everything like that. And then because she was like, it's an invasion of privacy to ask for someone's number like this and everything. And I was like, what in the fuck is going on? Like,
that napkin should have known better than to ask.
Like,
all right,
how dare you, Coke?
How dare you, napkin?
How dare you ask me for my number to give it to someone?
Object.
Like, oh, because I'm on a flight, I'm supposed to have an in-flight crush? Yeah, because she was like the way she was like framing it was like, oh, so I'm just gonna look at someone for a whole flight? Isn't that weird? And I'm like,
well, yeah, if you do it that way,
I'm like,
if you just stare at somebody.
But like, my whole thinking, I'm like, aren't you next to someone? That's not weird.
You're next to a stranger.
Because the way she was framing it was like someone's going to stare at a complete stranger and make them my crush on a flight, Coca-Cola, and then give them my number. How weird is that, right, guys? I don't think we need to be doing this. This is so inappropriate. And I was like, wait. So you sitting next to a complete stranger for a whole 6 hours, that's fine? Like, and everything. And then, like, it made me open, like, the floodgates of, like, this is bullshit, right? So I was thinking, and I was like, so I had tweeted back pretty much like, I find it funny how asking for someone's number is weird and creepy and inappropriate, but like asking for an IG or whatever,
whatever handle,
whatever that has all your pictures of your family, your dog, what you ate, fucking where you live,
the locations of where you've been,
your car, that's fine. That's not an invasion of privacy. That's perfectly fine. That's okay. Like, and I was just like, where are we in society today where this is the shit that is like a social issue? Like, this is, because that's not progressive.
No, it's not progressive at all. It's just one weird ass person's thought. Like, she made up this whole story on her head based on like a napkin being like, hey, playing off the old school of like, oh, you would just write down your number on a napkin and then be like, hey, call me sometime.
Yeah. And I was like, the reason why I was like, I feel like this is, I want to talk about social justice warriors and everything like that, because I believe that the way the world is going today, it's not even, there's social issues. We understand that. Yeah. But I feel like now social issues are only things that will get you fame, followers, likes, retweets. So anything I bring up that is something that's a hot topic or something that is like, oh, this is definitely going to get us some followers or whatever, it instantly becomes like I'm a social justice warrior. Prime example, people. This podcast, right, when we started it, right, we've talked about a lot of shit, right? If you go back to the videos, we've talked about black stuff and
more black stuff and
more black stuff and more black stuff.
Black stuff and
only black stuff, guys.
I think we're stuck on the black stuff.
We got to stop doing that. But we talked about black issues. We talked about
gun issues.
We talked about politics. We talked about fucking LGBTQ community. We talked about all this shit, right? It's hilarious. So when I talk about gun issues or whatever. Mm-hmm. On my Instagram, I got so many followers from like Republicans and pro-gun people and NRA people. They were like, "Fuck yeah," because Mark would put the clips out,
yeah,
and then like they would hear what I was saying, and they're like, "This motherfucker gets it. I love this black son of a bitch. He under
we
fucking
need more
stands.
like him.
This nigger's a good nigger. All right." And then like fast forward, I'm talking about like how I'm cool with the lesbian, the LGBTQ community, but I just want a little bit of this and that. And then it's like I get a whole bunch of like homosexuals and lesbians being like, hell yeah, and like retweet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did they not just hear me like a week ago talk about how I like guns? Like, you know what I mean? And then, or we talk about some black shit, and I get a whole bunch of like Black Lives Matter people to be like, fuck yeah, and retweet this, and that's my nigga right there. He know the struggle. He know what's going on. And I'm like, okay, what the whole basis of this podcast is to show you guys that friends, us, right, from the same like economic structure and background, but we're two totally different cultures, can have two totally different thought processes on life. It's the whole purpose of it. So we talk about these issues and we talk about shit to show you guys, like, just because I'm this person doesn't mean I have to think like him. Yeah. Just because he's him doesn't mean he has to think like me. It's the whole point of it, right? So I find it crazy that now, like, anything you bitch about that has enough validity to it, to some people, becomes fucking, like, it's a social thing. And it's not. Because if I say, hey, Nike, I don't like how these black sandals you guys see, I don't like how the check mark on the top of it is white. So are you saying that white people are above black people, which is why you put the white check mark and the Nike symbol before the black sandal? So are you trying to tell me that the white man controls, he should be in the forefront? And it's like, nigga, it's a design. Like,
with multiple colors. You chose that color.
You chose that color, motherfucker. Like, what are you trying to tell me?
Yeah, but if you have enough like followers on Twitter or whatever, that's gonna gain traction.
It's gonna gain traction somehow. And I feel like it is poisoning the world because it's making shit that isn't an issue a fucking issue. And it's crazy to me.
It bothers me just because it takes away from, like, the real fucking issues.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the wall, like immigrants, fucking LGBTQ stuff that's still going on, probably.
Like, there's a whole bunch of, like, real social inequalities that need to be highlighted, but it's overran by shit that is stupid.